So this morning, packing for Toowoomba, and I'm going to go through some things that pack for cross country. So if any of you have any questions about what I'm packing or why I'm packing it or why I haven't taken something else, send me a message, comment below. Yeah, and we will be doing a vlog for the event, and I'll try and, depends how organised I am for the event, might not happen. If I'm really organised, I might be able to go through how I actually get ready on event day, but I might not have time for that. So if you want to see like the future vlogs, best way to kind of keep up with it is to click the red button straight below and subscribe. Okay, so this might be in a bit of a random order, but beginning of cross country day, first thing I think about early in the morning is studs. So it's good to sort of prep your stud holes, have them cleaned out. I normally, the night before, I use these little, they're called like travel studs. See, like that. So what you can do is you can pop them, it's not really focusing, but you pop them in the holes and then they keep them really clean. And then just before you go cross country, you can whip them out really quickly and put the other ones in. So before you've put these in, you've already re-tapped your hole. This is a tap. So I'll go through quickly what my stud kit is. So I've got it in this little handy container, just from Bunnings or wherever. I've got a lot of different studs, if you can see. So there's a few in here that I've never used. Like these guys, okay? So in England, you'd probably get these out. Might use these, ones, but these are quite big, okay? So the ones I used to use all the time were these sort of blunt, kind of bullety ones that have a little blob on the top. And these are also very similar, but they're a bit more pointy. So if they're pointy, they're good at getting into the ground. So in Australia, where the ground's really hard, especially in southeast Queensland, you need to have a little bit of grip. So these are like running spikes, okay? So they grip into the ground. When it's a little bit wetter, that's when I'd use the blunter ones. But my favorite ones now are these little ones. Can you see that? So, and they're quite small. Can you see how the size of them? So they have like a little conical kind of shape to them. So they're good at kind of gripping into the hard ground. They're not huge, so they're not going to cause too much twist on the foot. And these little studs have a little groove in them, if you can see there. So they're called like self-cleaning or something. So when you're screwing them in, if there's a bit of dirt, they're not going to get stuck. So the dirt goes up the hole. I also have a hoof pick in there. And this is what I use to clean out the holes. It's just a very cheap little screwdriver from Bunnings, okay? And this is what I use. This is amazing to screw in the studs because it's very easy to change the width. So if it's hard to get it on, just change the width, open it up, close it onto the stud, and then screw them in or out. Stud kit ready. I've just cleaned my studs and I've sprayed them all with WD-40, made sure that they're all clean, rust-free. So they're ready. Okay, you need your WD-40 for your studs. I have had leaking issues in the past, so if you just pop it in one of these bags, if it leaks, it doesn't matter. So that goes in. Putting in studs without WD-40 entails a lot of swearing. So this is really important. Then I need to get boots ready. Okay, so these are Veritas Evento cross-country boots. I love them. They're so good at not slipping. I used to have PEI ones. They always slipped, twisted, just a nightmare, especially if you're going on course. So schooling, I guess you're on cross-country longer if you're schooling. You're always getting off to sort them out. But I don't want my boot to slip when I'm going around a course and potentially, you've gone through the water jump, it slips down, it's around their pastern, and then they don't want to jump the next fence. So anyway, I wrap them one inside the other. I'm going to just pop them. I've got these little boxes. So normally I have a really big toolbox that I drag. that I pack all my cross-country gear in, but because we were going in the gooseneck and there's 2 other girls, we only have like small shelves to fit stuff in. So everything's got to go in small boxes. I find these little clear boxes really handy to keep all your stuff together. And then I do things like this. So I've written cross-country stuff, because then it's really handy, you know, if someone else is grabbing it, they're like, oh, cross-country stuff. So these are the back boots, so we'll do the same thing, roll them up. So the back boots, generally cross-country boots, they have a hard bit that goes down the front of the cannon bone, so that if they hit a fence, you know, that's the bit they're going to hit with the back feet, with the back legs. And on the front boots, they've got a protective bit down the front, the back of the cannon, so that they don't stand on their tendons. But cross-country boots should be like full the whole way around, like that. Okay, so they're different to show jumping boots. And then little overreach boots. I normally just use cheapy overreach boots or bell boots. These are Hawes. I really like these ones. They're just thin, felty stuff. They can twist around. Who cares? The thing I find with the boots with the blob that's meant to like keep them in the right position is I never have much success keeping them in that position, and then they turn and then the blob is like sticking in the front of the foot. So I either use these or just really cheapy rubber Velcro ones. Yes, they break, but they're cheap and they last a while, and then if they get ratty, they just get used in the yard, although this is like my only bell boot we're all fighting over. So anyway, bell boots. After the boots, got to make sure you've got tape. Not everyone uses tape. I guess there's a couple of reasons why you use tape. The main one is to look good. Look, I mean, we all go cross-country schooling, we don't have tape on. Most of the time, your boots stay put. But I guess in theory, the point is, like, especially if you're going, you know, 4-star and you're on a really long course, you don't want your strap to come undone and flap and come off. So that's kind of where the theory of the tape comes from. But, you know, nowadays it's trying to look snazzy most of the time. So sometimes I use red, blue, white. I currently don't have much tape, so pretty much going to be blue. So I'm going to pop that in with my cross-country boots because they're going to go on, the tape's going to go straight on. Okay, I'm just going to quickly do this bit now because I need to go and put my ice boots in the freezer. But, so these are really good ice boots. They come in a nifty little bag, and I keep them in the bag because it's easy to keep them together in the freezer. You roll them up and they fit really well. So these are FinTac ice boots, go in the freezer like this, rolled up in the bag, undo. These are really important for after cross country, okay? So I try and do sort of 20 minutes on the front legs, 20 minutes on the back legs. I'm not sure if you're meant to wet them, but they go on okay dry. What I find works really well is you take them out, put them on, and then get a cup or a bucket and pour water so it goes down the inside. Anyway, I'm normally not a fan of these kind of boots that go in the freezer. We were recommended these by Steph, Charlotte Price's groom, because she said these work really well, and you know, grooms know best. I've always been a big fan of ice, like boots that you actually put ice in. So I've got some really good boots from 10 Minute Box that I love. And I normally use a combination of the two. So if I'm going to an event that I'm not staying away at, I will normally use the ice ones or maybe a combination of the two. These actually stay really cold really well, like on the inside. But yeah, so ice boots are really important. There's something you should have in your gear. I'm gonna go and put these in the freezer. They should have already been there. We've got the fridge charging in the gooseneck. So these will go in and try and stay cold all weekend. Try and sort this out. Okay, get all the sweat off. We've done the ice boots. These are the 10 Minute Box ice boots. See, they're way longer. So they actually can go pretty much from hoof up to like hock. They don't really like it on the hock. They have to get used to it a bit, but they've got all these pockets inside, see that? And then you fill with ice, wet them. What I do is I put ice in a big feed bucket with water, dunk the boots, pour the ice in, Bob's your uncle. You have to keep checking every now and then. You have to pour ice down because sometimes you'll undo and then it hasn't actually been touching the leg and it can be dry. So that, you know, defeats purpose. So keep an eye on it. Okay, I'm going to do this really fast because I need to actually be packing. Helmet cover. So this is from Ride Your Colours? Ride My Colours. Ride Your Colours. So this goes on top of your helmet. You don't have to have a pom-pom. My coach, Jocelyn Park, hates pom-poms. Makes me want to wear it all the more. Anyway, that goes in the box. Cross-country watch. Really important. I don't have time to go through how you use it or what it's for, but anyway, cross-country watch, that's obviously for keeping time, but sticky stuff. So this is the CPM sticky stuff, but it's effectively glorified surfboard wax, and you put it on the inside of your boots and it saves your life. I actually get really nervous if I'm heading to the Starbucks and I realize I haven't put this on. I have this sudden panic that I'm just gonna fall off. So I try and use this before jumping. And actually, even dressage, like it helps you sit trot so much better. Okay, so anyway, that goes in. Gloves, they go in, although I've also got a different competition box that has general stuff. I tend to keep my gloves in there with my spurs and things. Okay, back protector. These have to be beta level 3 and 2009 onwards nowadays if you're in Australia, and well, I guess that's probably England as well, or Europe. Mine is actually a beta level 3 2000, so I need to update mine. I have until January to do that. So I've actually picked one I'm going to get, but I haven't ordered it yet. I have these rather nifty shoulder pads, which I think helps everyone recognize me. I never used to use them. I actually have really bad shoulder now, so I kind of pretty much use them all the time because I feel like if I fall off training, it's going to give me support. That's the whole point. So I know it looks amazing, but it's also there because I need it. So I'm going to put them onto the back protector now so I'm ready and I'm not panicking on Sunday. Obviously, you're going to have this anyway, but bucket, sponge, sweat scraper. Oh, I know. Oh. Lucky whip, really important. What else do we need, Phoebe? Saddle cloths. We've got saddle cloths. No. Oh, I've got chocolate Tony with leg in it. We won't put that in. Okay, wait, let's stop that because that one went wrong. Other things you need a number holder. Obviously to hold your number. So the event will give you a number, you slot that in. These ones you just have to fold the top down so they fit. I used to have some really nice ones, but anyway, these are fine. I think these are Zilco or something. And I've got a spare one. It's one of those things that somebody always forgets, a number holder. So having a spare one's handy, or if you're riding more than one horse, you can have the number in the other one. Just gonna run over my boots. Obviously, you'd have those for dressage and show jumping too, but you need to have those on your bridle. Okay, so now we're on to after cross country. So really important, wash your horse off. Okay, get all the sweat off. We've done the ice boot. Then we use like an ice kind of clay or poultice to try and draw out any heat, to try and prevent any injuries on their legs. So I'm a bit bad and I tend to get a bit disorganized and end up using whichever clay I have handy. This is one that's running out. This is a foreign ice clay. I don't mean it's foreign. The brand is foreign. Anyway, this is from Ireland. I got this from, don't do that, Ron Major, or Aussie Equine Supplies. Foreign products are really cool. I think this does have cooling agents in it. I do really like this one. This is brand new. This is a Tough Rock poultice. It's not my favorite one because it is generally just a clay to try and sort of, I guess, try and pull out any heat. But I don't think it's really got any cooling agents in it. Not sure. Sorry, don't quote me on this. I'll get in trouble. After speaking to the Kaleido lady the other day, I'm going to order some of their clay because it's sort of really well researched and has a lot of cooling agents in it. So it's not just a poultice. It's got sort of two reasons to use. When you put this on, it's a wet clay, but then it goes hard on the legs. Now to try and get it to work longer, what you can do is apply brown paper. Some people use their old like cross-country numbers. In the UK, I don't know if this is the same in the UK now, but we used to have feed bags and they were lined with brown paper, and we'd pull off the brown paper and use that. I don't know, let me know if you're in the UK. Do you still have brown paper on the inside of your bags? Anyway, my mum got me some brown paper from the post office, and this is really good. It doesn't rip quite as quickly as like normal paper. It still does rip. You've got to be kind of fast. So I'll rip off a bit, about that long, wet, like quickly dunk it in the bucket, wrap it on the leg, and then you can kind of walk a bit to grab your stuff because it sort of sticks to the leg. Then you've got to be ready with some bandage padding that goes over the top. So you wrap that around the leg, and then a stable bandage or whatever you use. That's what I use. Okay. Forgot, but also very handy to have latex gloves to put on your ice clay. Yeah, it is a bit messy, so that's handy to have. Okay, obviously pretty vital for cross country is a saddle. I've got gorgeous County Sensation, which I love. I can't afford free jumps and those sort of snazzy stirrups. I have these composty stirrups, which I think is Zilco. They're really light, and they are, even though they're just sort of rubbery stuff, they are actually grippy. I think Composty actually have some new snazzy stirrups that I might look into. Anyway, saddle. Obviously you need a girth. If you're wearing studs, you need a stud guard. So that's why it's got this big bit under the belly. So when they lift their knees up, they're not going to stab themselves in the chest. A lot of people use stud guards just to be fashionable. You don't need a stud guard if you've not got studs in, but obviously they are a little bit more protective. Bridle, and so I've got Aventa's Boutique bridle I've had for a few years that I love, and just this Trust Flexi straight sort of D-ring or egg butt bit, which I love. I've been using in every phase. I definitely use for jumping. I go between this and just a normal egg butt French link snaffle for dressage. So not quite decided what I'm going to use this weekend. And then a lot of people use a breastplate. Again, it's a bit of fashion. With Jet, I've gone back to good old martingale. Reason being, he's really tricky to sort of fit saddle to. The saddle we need to try and keep back off his shoulders, and what the breastplate is really there for is to stop the saddle slipping. So every time he was jumping and he was lifting his shoulders up, it was actually pulling the saddle forwards. So taking that off, what I like about the martingale is you have a neck strap. So if you're going to jump up a step or down a drop or whatever, you can hang on to the neck strap. Now it's illegal to have a neck strap around the horse without it attached to another piece of tack. So that's kind of another reason I've gone back for the martingale. Obviously the rings help with a horse that wants to lift its head up a bit. So Jet feels a lot more relaxed if he stays in a frame because it makes him use his back better, and the saddle sort of, feels more comfortable. Anyway, I think that's it. If I remember anything else, I'll try and add it in. Other things I use underneath the saddle, you can use whatever saddle pads you want. I always use a gel pad. So I've got, I can't think what the name of it is. Something starting with A, and it just stops everything slipping. And I'm so obsessed with it, I use it on everyone now. And again, a little bit like my sticky stuff, if I don't have it, I get so nervous. And especially with Jet, saddle must not move. So it's really, really important.